Okay, chalo. So we'll start first topic, that is you can say, so it is BDM. Okay, fine. So this is your BDM theory with the economics module, right? Okay. So we are going to start the first concept today. That is, what do you mean by the graphs? Okay. Yeah, I'll explain, because I'm going to explain the cost today. So I'm going to cover the sunk cost as well. So don't worry about it. Okay. So what do you mean by the graphs? Everybody is plotting a graphs, right? So what do you mean by the graphs?
Graphical representation.
Sorry,
Make the graphical representation in paper format.
I'm not sure there is
Sir,
a.
it helps us compare different data.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. You are audible.
Sir, graph is a visual representation of two or more things together.
Okay, great, great. Anyone else want to comment?
Sir, graphical representation also helps us establishing the relationship between the quantities that are provided on different axes like x and y axis.
Okay, great. Any more suggestions or definition or purpose why we are plotting the graphs? What is the purpose of plotting the graphs?
So visualizing the relationship between two states or two variables.
Okay, great.
Sir,
Yeah,
to find a trend in the data.
to find the.
Trend in the data.
Okay, okay, great. So all are correct. So graphing, what, why we are doing a graphs? Why we are plotting a graphs? So the purpose of graphs, right? Suppose we have a mathematical equation, okay, or we are driving some theory, okay, or we are developing some theory, or we are having some mathematical equation, right? So is it not it is not possible to interpret or basically visualize the pattern from the equations, right? If you want to find out some pattern, or if you want to visualize how the ideas are expressed or how the theories are developed, right? So we need some visual representation. So that visual representation, right, from where we are going to identify or interpret the results or outcome of our developed or developing theories, right, is called the graphical representation. So that is why we are using the graphs. Okay. Now coming to the second point. So graphs, if you are discussing the graphs, so in mathematical form, so there are two forms we are going to study today. First is economics perspective. We are understanding the graphs, why the graphs are useful and what type of graphs we are using. So first is economics point of view. The other is mathematical point of view. In terms of math, what exactly you are going to uh, understand from the graph, right? So basically, I'm just correlating like how the graphs are different in economics when we are comparing to different subjects, right? So here I am focusing mainly on mass. If you can see in mass, there are multiple plots. There are pie charts. When you are going to do a statistic, right? There are pie chart, there are bar chart, there are time series plot. Okay. So suppose if you want to plot something, which is if you are going to see the productivity of a land, okay, you want to see how the land productivity is fluctuating with respect to different years. Okay, so how you are going to calculate that? So based on the developed theories or developed model, right, you are going to put data and you are going to see how it is coming, right? So in that sense, if you are just going to see the productivity of your land with respect to years, okay, so here you are getting some plot. Suppose the plot is coming like this. Productivity either increasing or productivity is decreasing or it is constant. Anything will come from here, right? So this is something like you can see, you can visualize it properly, the how with respect to years it is going to change. Suppose this is 1970, this is 2026. Okay. So here, if you can see this mathematical plots, so mathematical plots are plotted with respect to one single variable, that is single dependent variable. So here you can see the productivity. Suppose you can take a equation y is equals to mx plus c. Okay. So what exactly your inputs are? X you are giving. You are giving the values of x to obtain a y. Okay. So whichever you are going to input, whatever you are going to input, that is called an independent variable. And what you are obtaining or what is derived from your independent variable is called a dependent variable. So here, y, if you can assume the productivity, right? So productivity y is y, and this is called a dependent variable. Okay, but here it is x is your independent variable. No, this is not a summary. This is basically we are starting the session, next session, right? So this is your independent variable. So as yeah, it is second week 2. Okay, so this is from the mathematics. Mostly we are plotting, or there are some plots which have a dependent and independent variable. But most of the cases when you are seeing one is independent variable, other is dependent variable. Now coming to the economics. In economics, what type of variables first you are using? Okay, so suppose you are seeing the price fluctuation of banana, with respect to quantity, right? Okay, so from here what you are able to see, if you are going to change the price, if the price is increased, might be the case the quantity will reduce, people will not buy. If something is becoming costly, right, if there is off season, right, and the prices are pretty high for banana. Okay, so what happens if the prices increases, the quantity decreases, and vice versa. If we need a or we need a more quantity of banana, if we increase the volume purchase for banana, so in that case what happens, if you are purchasing 1 kg, we will not get a discount. If you purchase 20 kgs, we will get a huge discount. Then what happens, based on the quantity we are purchasing, the volume we are purchasing from banana, the change prices will change. Okay, so here both the things are working separately, they are not totally dependent, they are having, so here what you are seeing, both are a dependent variable. You can't say like if you are increasing or if you are increasing the price, the quantity will be same. Quantity will fluctuate. Okay, if your salary, right? If there is no hike in the salary for a year, right? If the salary is constant, but the prices of the commodities are increasing, so what you are going to do? You are going to do optimization, and you are purchasing the relevant quantity of uh, food items or necessary items, right? So you are going to reduce or you are going to compress the quantity of the item you need to purchase. So in that condition, what happens? Because of the fluctuation in the, you can say because of the stagnation in the prices of salary, right? You are not able to purchase huge quantity, right? So quantity is going to change. Similarly, like if you can consider a banana and this thing, so here both the variables are dependent variable. So when you are going to study the economics, okay, so in economics, the variables are dependent variables. So if you are going to plot it, suppose this is the cost and this is the quantity, okay. So the cost is changing and the quantity is also changing. It might be this way or this way or some other way. If the cost is high, okay, so the cost is high. If the cost is increasing, you are going to purchase the less quantity. If the cost is less, you are going to purchase a more quantity. Okay, so here both are dependent variable. This is also dependent and this is also dependent variable. Okay, so when you are going to plot anything in the economics, right? So the variables, whatever you are using, are the independent. Are the dependent variables. It's not an independent
And so
variable.
this is called demand curve, is it? And this is the only demand
Yeah,
curve
yeah,
you'll
that
ever
I'll
use.
explain you later because I didn't intentionally. I didn't use the word demand. So because
Okay.
I'm going to cover this separately. Okay. So so the dynamic is that here what you are seeing. So this plot is something like a static plot, right? Whatever data you are getting, you are plotting that data in mathematics. But what happens in economics? The plots are dynamic in nature. Okay. Why dynamic in nature? Because you don't know. Every day the prices are changing. So when you are going to collect a data for today, right, the prices or quantity data for today might be the case tomorrow. The scenario is different because it's a dynamic in nature. It is changing with respect to time. It is not a static, right? If you can see the prices, the per day prices, if you can see a price of gold, per day the gold prices are changing, or per second or millisecond the gold prices are changing. It is not so. It is dynamic in nature. Similarly, when you are studying the economics, your variables are dynamic in nature. It is not static. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now, it is clear to you all. Okay, great. Okay. So I'll give you one more example. Okay, so this is an example where a student grades are going to evaluate based on the study hours. Okay, so suppose study per hour, okay, or study time we can write. So this is basically a study time. Study time, and this is your grade points. How the grades are changing. Okay, so suppose there are multiple students. Your variables are S1 student is there and S2 student are there. Okay, so he is studying 5 hours per week, and this student is studying 25 hours per week. Okay, so two students are there. One is studying 5 hours per week, and the second is 25 hours per week. So these are the two variables you had. Okay, so if you can plot it, suppose this is 5 hours per week and this is 25 hours per week. In between, you have a lot of students, right? So here also you have multiple students, here also. But you are focusing on two students. You have taken only two variables. So one is here and one is here. So from this plot, what are the things you are interpreting? What's your interpretations are there? Who will get the good grades?
The student who put more time in study.
Student 2, which study
Okay.
24 5 hours per week.
Yes. Okay. Correct. So S1 is he is giving 5 hours per week. So obviously the grades will be less because he is investing more of the time to other activities. Okay, but S2 you can see S2 is investing a lot of time in studying. Okay, so he will get a good grades. Possibilities, we are discussing about the probabilities, possibilities. The possibilities of getting a good grades are more in case of S2 because he investing more number of time. Okay, so it means, so you can see here, this is your one variable and this is your other dependent variable. So if the study time is increasing, if you can go with this line, if the study time is increasing, so it means the possibilities of getting the grades, higher grades increases. Okay, fine. So this curve where, okay, I'll tell you this concept next in the next point. Now coming to the second point. So how this is reverse? There is a reverse process for this curve as well. How it is getting reversed? So suppose we are comparing the party time. Here we are not comparing the study time. We are comparing the party time with grades. And this is your party time. So this plot is called upward moment plot or positive plot, right? And here what happened when we included a party time and grades. So what happened in this case? Where S2 and S1 are like, who is partying more will get a good grades or less grades?
Less grade.
Okay, less grades, right? So the trend is reverse. Who is partying more will get a less grade, and who is partying less will get a more grade. Okay, so your plot will come like this. Okay, so these are the two factors. So here my motive is to explain you this concept to let you understand how the variables are changing in economics. So this is dynamic in nature and both are dependent variables. If one is changing, it will affect the other, right? So it is not something like one is changing, it is not affecting the other. Other is changing on its own. It's not the case. The other is also changing with respect to, because if you can say a price and quantity, both are connected. If one is changing, the other is obviously it is going to change. Okay. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. It's clear, sir.
Great. Now I'm going to the next concept is a slope. I'm not sure you are aware of this particular concept or not, but I'm just covering it from the fundamental so that at least when you are going ahead, you can have all the understanding. You are able to interpret, okay, what exactly the mathematics are giving, what economics is giving, right? Okay. So these are the two plots we have covered. So in these two plots, the plot one, we can say this is plot one and plot two. So the plot one is called So plot number one is called upward sloping line plot, right? Where we can find a positive correlation. Okay. When one is increasing or one is changing, the other is also increasing. Okay. So this is called a positive correlation. Plot 1 is upward sloping plot. So slope here is positive. Slope is positive in this condition. The other plot, plot number 2, is downward sloping plot. So here, if you can calculate the slope, slope is negative. Okay, so it means it shows a negative correlations. Both the variables are showing a negative correlations. Now, what do you mean by the slope? We are discussing about the slope. Any idea of about the slope? What do you mean by the slope?
Excuse me, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Sir, slope is a mathematical term for change in y-axis to the change in x-axis. That means how
Okay,
fast or slow the data changes.
correct. Absolutely correct. So slope is basically a responsiveness of change in variables. So when variables are going to change, how responsive, right? How responsive uh, the variables are. Okay, so how responsive the variables are when there is a change in the variable. Okay, so slope is called, if you are going to calculate the slope, suppose this is your plot, this is your plot. This point, suppose you can consider A, and this point you can consider B. So whatever the rate of change we are getting here, so this is change in Y and this is change in X. If we are considering this point is X1 and we are considering this X2, we are considering this as Y1 and we are considering this as Y2. So your slope is equals to change in Y upon change in X. Okay. So this is your slope or responsiveness of the variables. Okay. So now the slope is confirmed. Okay. Now I'm going to the next topic. So with this, the fundamental topics of graphics is completed, like how you are going to plot graphs, you know the slope, because these concepts we are going to use in cost analysis. So it is important for me to explain you how the plots are there, how we are going to plot it. Economics plots are coming. What are the different variables we are using? Variables are independent variables or dependent variables. Okay, and then I need to introduce the concept of slope, because we are going to use a slope in future to calculate the cost. Okay, I hope up to this it is clear. Okay, so now I'm coming to the next topic, that is the cost of production. So we understand the production. Now try to understand the cost of production. Okay, so cost of production, right? So what do you mean by the cost of production? Any idea?
Sir, this is just like the total labor, raw material required to make a good.
Okay, anyone else want to comment? Cost of raw material or labor? Okay, anyone else? Okay, so suppose I'm just telling you, so there is an input. Okay, and with this inputs we are producing something that is called a output. So this is your output. Okay, so we are doing a different production activities to produce output. Right now, for an input, what are the things required? So for input we need a raw materials, we need machines, right? We need land, Okay, we need labor and we need a production facility. So these are the things required for your for converting your input to output. Okay, so suppose I'm giving you example. Suppose if there is a tailor shop. Okay, so if you want to convert or if you want to manufacture t-shirts or shirts, so what he need a cotton, he need threads, right? What else he need a sewing machine. What else is required?
A labor, a
Manpower,
tailor.
right? So these are the things which he need to make a t-shirt or to produce a t-shirt. So when he was using this, when there are some inputs uh, he need to buy these particular things, right? So what are the cost acquiring for procuring these inputs is called a cost of production. Okay, so for acquiring, so for acquiring input, the business or firm has to invest some money. So that is called a cost of production. Okay, so this is your cost of production. Now, coming to the second thing. Now, when he is just when this output is there, what exactly the company is looking for when he is producing something, or this output is consumed by customer. Okay, so what exactly the company is looking for? Company is looking for to maximize the profit from this output. Okay, so when you want to maximize the profit, the first thing which you need, right, or first requirement basically to increase or to maximize the profit is to understand the cost associated, right? Your total revenue, you need to know your total revenue and then your total cost of production. So if you know this, then you are able to maximize the profit. Because if you don't have any idea how much you did the expenditure for making a product and what is your total cost, what exactly at how much rate you are selling, right? Okay, so then it is very difficult to calculate the maximum profit. Okay, so now you understand the cost of production, you understand what are the different factors you are coming here. So now coming to the profit, definition of profit. So profit is equals to total revenue minus your cost of production, right? So this is your profit. Okay, okay, fine. So
Yes, sir.
this is called your profit. Now try to understand what do you mean by the revenue. Cost of production already you know. So revenue, total revenue is what? Total revenue, if you are going to calculate, suppose this is your output. So this is your output. So this output you are going to sell in the market. Whatever you are producing, it might be a service or it might be a product. When you are selling this in the market, okay. So when you are selling in the market, so whatever you are getting from the market in return, right? So whatever you are getting from the market is your revenue. Okay, so if you are going to calculate your total revenue is equals to what? Your quantity you are selling into your selling price. Okay, okay. So how the profit is going to change? If you want to maximize the profit, how you are going to maximize the profit? You have only two variables. One is total revenue, okay, and one is the cost of production. So you need to play with this to increase the profit. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Great. Now I'm going to important section, that is a production function. So what do you mean by the production function? Any idea? Any idea what do you mean by the production function? Okay. So when you want to maximize the profit, okay, but your inputs are limited, okay. So when you are going to study, okay, oh, no problem at all. So production function. So production function means the relationship between your input and output of production, right? So this is called a production function. Okay. So if suppose if you have app design company, right? So app design company, what you need some computation power and you need employees to work. So these are the two factors or input factors you need. Okay. So now if you want to maximize your production, or if you want to uh, maximize the profit of the company, okay, so what you need to do, you need to utilize your resources, the input resources, in such a way, or you want to manage your resources in such a way, right, that you are getting a maximum output. Consider the same land. Okay, okay. So I am having a same land. I hired some workers to cultivate the lands. Okay, so when I am hiring suppose this is a 1 acre land I have, and I am hiring a labor who is working for 2 hours a day. Okay, so in this 1 acre land, if a person is working for 2 hours, that is a maximum thing, right? So that is a maximum we can utilize from him. So what happens, the output we are getting is 2.5 tons of wheat. So this is a maximum outcome we are getting when we utilize these resources. So this relationship where we correlate or we relate the input with the output, or we are able to find the relationship between the output and input, is called a production function. So here we can see a production function is a function of land and your capital, or you can say a land and your labor. Okay, so we can use here a function, production function. So production function here is basically your is a function of k and l, right? So this is your land and this is your labor, assume, right? So this is called a production function, where these are your inputs. So with these inputs, how you are going to get a maximum output? The relationship between this is called a production function. So what if you want to find out the quantity? Okay, so the quantity of how much maximum amount of wheat you can acquire from a land. Okay, so what exactly is that? So this is a maximum amount of wheat, right? So maximum amount of wheat is equals to K into L, where L is your labor or K is your labor and L is your basically land. Okay, so here labor you can just optimize, you can just change. Suppose here you are taking a 2 hours a day, you can increase it to 3 hours a day as well, but you need to pay more for that. So in that sense, the capital is going to increase. Okay, so this is the maximum amount of land you are going to acquire with a combination of input, that is land and labor. Okay, so this production function, if we can generalize this, so this production function, if we can generalize this, so is equals to q into q is equals to q is the quantity or the amount which you are getting or the output which you are getting is basically x1 times of alpha and x2 times of beta. So this is a generalized equation which is known as a Cobb-Douglas equation, right? Cobb-Douglas equation. Okay, so this is your Cobb-Douglas equation where x1 is variable, input variable 1, and x2 is your input variable number 2. So these are the two variables you have. And alpha and beta are your, okay. So this is how you are going to calculate your production function. Yeah, any doubt till now? Somebody was raising the hand.
Sir, in our previous example, will we consider land to be a dependent variable too?
Land is your that is what I am telling now. So it will be a depend. Yeah, both are dependent because the amount of land, or you can say the area of land. Okay, so if you can consider here, Q is equals to maximum quantity. Q is equals to K into L. K is what? K is a labor. If we are going to increase the labor, we are going to increase the quantity of a wheat. Because in the same, if we are considering one fixed and other we are varying, or if we are increasing the land, suppose we have taken 1 acre, if we are producing in 2 acres, right? So in that case, if we are producing 2 acres, the quantity is going to be changed. In this, if you are taking 2 acre, might be the case you are getting 4 tons of wheat. Got it?
Yes, sir, got it.
So in this,
Excuse me,
you can
sir.
see both the variables are affecting. Just I'll just give you some examples going forward where you can have a more clarity. Okay, I'll give you one example now. Okay, so what happens if you can take example of a student. Okay, so the student is doing his assignment on a daily basis, and he is studying different subjects on a daily basis, right? So he is giving nearly 4 hours per day for study. Okay, so in 4 hours a day, he manage in such a way. So 1 hour he is giving for. Okay, I'm making a table, so this will give you a clarity. So suppose he is studying maths and science in week 1. Okay, so this is your time. Okay, so what he has a fixed amount of hours, that is 4 hours. Okay, so what he can do now, first he has the options, right? He can just study equal time, 2 hours for both. What other option he has? He can study 1 hour and 3 hours. Okay. What he study, like he can give 3 hours, 1 hour. Okay. So what you are doing here, you are changing the inputs. Okay. Based on the inputs, he is going to manage the output because he has a fixed hours here. Okay. So similarly, if you are going with this example, if he has 2 hours per day and if he is having a 1 acre of land, right? So he's producing 2 tons of rice, 2 tons of wheat. If he increase the hours, suppose from 2 to 4 hours, okay. So might be the case if he is doing 2 hours, he is cultivating only quarter parts of the land. Okay. So if the hours are increased, so he might be able to cover more part of the land. So in that case, the production is changing. Got my point? I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in
Yeah.
the Cobb-Douglas equation, is it x1 to the power alpha or into alpha?
It is x1 to power alpha. So I'll write it one more time. So Q is equals to x1 to the power alpha and x to the power beta. I hope it is clear now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So these are the factors of whatever we are using here, this x1 and x2, right? So these are the factors of production. Okay. We are studying now 2 factors only because in 2D case, we are plotting in 2D, right? So in 2D, we can represent only 2 variables. That's why we are focusing on 2 variables only, right? 2 factors of production, so that I can showcase you like how these are changing. Okay, but there might be the other factors of production as well. You don't know. Okay, so these are your factors of x1 and x2 are your factors of production, or you can say in this, in the previous example, K and L are what's your factors of production. Okay, fine. Okay, now I'm going to explain you with the help of example. So before that, I'll just start the topic, that is a short run production and long run production, right? So what do you mean by the short run production? In the short run production, we need to fix one variable and we need to change other variable, because it is not, suppose if we have 1 acre of land, okay. So what are the factors we have previously? We have, if we want to, what are the inputs we have? Inputs we have is land and labor, right? So for a shorter run, suppose in 2 months we need to do all the cultivation of a wheat or all the sowing or other activities for seeding the wheat, right? If we have only 2 months, so that is a short run, because in 2 months we can't able to change the land. We won't be able to purchase acres of land in 2 months. It's not possible. So when we are considering for a shorter run, then we are going to fix one variable. One variable will be fixed, which is not possible to change. But here we can change the labors. We can hire more number of people. That is flexible. We can, as per the requirement, we can hire more number of people. But the increasing land is not 1 day or 10 days activities. We need to manage the finances to buy a 2 acre, 3 acre of land. So when we are going for a shorter run production, so at least one factor is fixed. and the other is variable. So suppose here land is going to be fixed, labor is going to be flexible, or we can say a variable. Okay. If we are going to calculate the quantity, so quantity is not depending for a shorter run, is not a function of your land. So quantity fluctuation is only a function of your variable, that is a labor. Okay. Okay, because this is fixed, we have fixed the land. Okay, we have fixed the land. So it means if the land is fixed, then whole quantity, whatever we need to produce, is depending upon how much labor we are going to engage. The production is going to increase or decrease based on the labor, because we have only two inputs here. Okay, got it? So if you can say Q is equals to function of K and L, where L is fixed, right? So from here, Q is a function of only K. I hope it is clear. Yeah. Make it
Yes, sir.
little bit
It is clear,
interactive.
sir.
Make it little bit interactive. Otherwise, I am getting confused whether you are following or not.
Sir, can you
Okay.
explain this concept once again?
Okay. So shorter run production is something. Okay. What you need to do? Suppose you need to do a harvesting and you want to crop a wheat, or you want to do a wheat cultivation. Okay. So for a shortened run, or I can give a different example now. So if you want to work, if you want to open a cloud kitchen, or cloud kitchen was already working, you are working on a cloud kitchen thing, right? But the square feet area you have, that should be fixed. Shorter run, right? So you have started the cloud kitchen nearly 3 months ago. In 3 months ago, you have taken some property on a land, and after then you realize, okay, you are getting a lot of orders. Okay, so but after 3 months, you are not in a position to buy a new property, a new land to make a huge cloud kitchen, because you have only running time is only 3 months. You have run that cloud kitchen, you don't get a sufficient amount of profit, or sufficient, you won't be able to generate sufficient amount of money which help you to buy a new or big facility. So in that case, what exactly is the restriction for you? Restriction for you is the land, or is a space for the cloud kitchen. Okay, but if you want to increase the production, you want to fulfill the order. So what are the options you have in that case? You have an option to buy a different type of equipment. Suppose if you have a one pizza or one oven, you have opportunity to buy two oven. You can buy two oven, three oven. That is in your hand, because you have a capability to buy the two or three ovens. Or you can hire,
Yes,
if
sir.
you are working alone in the cloud kitchen, then you have opportunity, or you have the resources which is variable, you can hire some more person as a helping hand. So that's our variable. Got it? But if you are going for a longer run, if you are going for nearly you are forecasting for nearly 5 years or 10 years, then nothing is fixed, everything is variable in that condition, because you are going for a longer run. You don't know like how much things you are managing, everything from the initial phase itself. So everything is varying. You have all the resources in your hand. Okay, I hope it is clear now.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, fine. Now we are going to discuss a concept. We are going to extend the concept of production function with one example. Okay, so suppose after this example, most of the things will clear to you all. Okay, so suppose here number of workers. Fine. Here you have output. This is example of something like a, you can say, a bakery shop. where he is manufacturing, bakery owner is manufacturing the cookies. Okay, so its output is the quantities of cookies per hour. How much quantity he is producing per hour, that is your output. Okay, now coming to the marginal production of labor. Okay, just don't worry about the names now, because something I have covered. I want to make a table one time. I don't want to make it again, but I'll come to explain you whatever is missing. Right now, the cost of workers, or you can say your fixed cost of cost of factory or store. After then, you are coming cost of workers, right? And then we have total cost. So this is the total cost of production. We have discussed about the cost of production. Now we are understanding what exactly the cost of production means. Okay, with this example, suppose you have 0 workers. 0 workers means you don't have any output. You have just opened the shop. 0 output. Okay, I'm leaving marginal cost as of now, marginal production as of now. So what should be the store? What is the cost of store or cost of factory? It is 0 or it is some value.
It will have
So
a
it
initial
is
The
some
cost of
value.
assumption.
factory, correct? It has some value because you have rented the shop. You need to pay a rent for that. That is fixed. If you are producing or not producing, if you are using Netflix, if you are watching a movie or you are not watching a movie, Netflix is charging you in advance, right?
Yes, sir.
Now the cost of worker here is what? Tell me, what is the cost of worker?
So it is zero, sir.
It is 0. So your total cost is cost of workers plus cost of your store or your factory. Okay. So total cost is a summation of both of these costs, first cost and second cost. So it is 3,000 rupees. Now, interesting point comes. Now you have hired one person and the output you are getting is 50. So you hired one person and he is just producing 50 cookies per hour. Okay. So the cost, so what about this cost? Now, cost of factory or store,
Same, sir. It will be same.
it is same, 3,000 only. Any doubt? Anyone is having any doubt why this cost is same? Because this is a fixed cost. This is a fixed cost. Okay, great. So now the cost of worker is how much? Suppose per worker, the business owner has to invest or has to pay 500 rupees. So this is 500 rupees is the cost of worker. So total cost now comes out to be 3,500. Fine. Now, if I hire 2 workers now, so my production increases to 90. Okay. This is constant 3,000. I'm just putting this is constant dot dot dot. This is changing to rupees 1,000. Now my total cost is rupees 4,000. Okay. Fine. So similarly, if I will go 3, 4, 5, I will go up to 6 workers and I'll see how the things are changing. Okay. Just give me a time. I'm not sure why this is disconnected. Okay. Yeah, I hope it is fine now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now I am going to fill this table. So it is 90. Now, if I hired one more person, hired worker, the cost coming out to be 120, right? So this is constant. Here it is rupees 1500, and here it is rupees 4500. So similarly, if I am going, so for final it is 6000. Okay. So this is third, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is fourth. Fifth, I am getting 140, 150, and 155. Okay. So these are the outputs I am getting. Now, some of you are very curious to know about the pattern. So why it is happening? Why this pattern is coming? So anybody is observing something unusual in this pattern?
Yeah.
Just do let me know.
Sir, there is a pattern in output state.
Output is like not increasing that much.
Like when we are
Yes.
adding new
So
labels,
when
sir, there is not much they are adding.
correct. So if you are seeing here, so if you are adding number of workers, so the 0 to 1 when you have increased, so it is producing nearly 50 units of cookies per hour. Okay, right? But when you go to the next process from second 1 to 2, the difference here is coming out to be 40. From 2 to 3, the difference is coming out to be 30. Okay. So the marginal production of labor, right? Now I'm coming to the definition of marginal production. So what do you mean by the marginal production? So every increment of unit, when we are increasing any unit, when we are doing a production process, right, with the different inputs. So every unit change, for every unit change, what is the quantity of output you are getting, right? What is the change in quantity of output you are getting? Okay, is called the marginal production. Fine. Now you got
Yes.
the idea. So from 0 to 1, it is 50. From 1 to 2, it is 40. From 2 to 3, it is 30, right? And then we are getting 20, 10, and 5. So if you are seeing, the marginal production of labor is going to decrease. Everybody get this is very important point. If anybody is having any doubt, do you know right now? So for producing any extra unit, what are the changes happening in the output is called a marginal production. Okay. I hope up to this point it's clear. Just respond a little bit, because I am getting confused again and again whether you are following it or not.
So can you explain the marginal production of labor once again?
Okay. I hope there is some issue actually.
Sir, your
My
voice
Wi-Fi.
is lagging.
Wi-Fi
Hello.
is
Sir, your
fine.
voice is
Not able
lagging.
to. Yeah, I think there is some issue in my internet because my Wi-Fi is not working. Now I've connected with my mobile. So if I'm getting any call, the connection is getting disrupted. Okay. So now I'm going to define marginal product. What do you mean by the marginal product? Okay. So here I'm going to write the definition what I explained right now. So it will be helpful for you all to make a note. So marginal production of any input. Here, what is the input we are using? We are using an input as a worker, right? So number of workers we are using input. So it might be any input, doesn't matter. Any input in production process. Okay. What exactly it is doing? So what is happening? The change in the quantity of output. So if we are changing the quantity or if we are changing numbers or per unit change in the inputs. So how this is going to change the output? Change in the quantity of output, right? When we are changing or when we are just varying the units per unit change in your input. You got my point?
Sir, I have a question, sir, that it is not about just increments, or it is just about like change that we can also reduce the number of workers and
Yes.
calculate the marginal
Yeah,
product.
yeah. So marginal production you can say is basically change of your output. So if I'm plotting and I will explain you how you are going to calculate this. It is a concept of slope. That is why I bring a concept of slope. Because when you are calculating a marginal cost further, then I'm going to explaining you the cost. So in that case, you are realizing the it is nothing just a rate of change. It's a slope of basically your production curve, right?
Okay,
Slope is
sir,
what?
got it.
Is output divided by input. How much your change in quantity here is happening because change in your input, that is workers. So if you can see here from 1 to 2, 1 to 2 is 1 unit, right? So how much changes is there? Is 90 minus 40, 90 minus 50, 90 minus 50 divided by 2 minus 1. So what is your change? It is coming out to be 40. Okay, got my point? Great. So
Yes, sir.
this is up now. Now, very important question is coming now. So now we know what exactly the marginal production is coming. Okay. So what do you mean by this? And why it is happening? This is very important. Why there is a, you can say, a decline in values are coming, or it is reducing. It is reducing, even though we are increasing the number of workers. Why it is happening? Any idea?
Sir, I think, sir, since the workers were working on the same resources and we keep adding new workers, I think so. At a point, it will not increase the input, increase the output because we are working on the same resource. So the resources will not be utilized. It will be utilized totally. So adding new workers
Correct.
would not affect the output anymore.
Correct. Because if you can take an example of cloud kitchen itself. So what happening if we have a less number of workers, right? If they are less in numbers, they can just utilize the resources properly because resources are not unlimited. They have a limited resources. But if the number of workers are increased, then the resources sharing happen, right? They have to wait for a couple of time. They have to wait to make a dish because the instrument is occupied. The gas is not available to cook, right? So in that case, there is an optimal point up to which we can hire or we can make a system more efficient. But beyond that, if we are just going right? Beyond efficient, like suppose we are plotting the same. Okay, so if you can see, this is coming like this, and then it is coming constant. So this is your output versus number of workers. So this is your output, and this is number of workers. So initially you can see a lot of changes are happening, but if you can go with higher number of workers, your output is nearly, there is not major changes in the output happening, because people are not easily, or the workers are not easily utilize the equipments which are limited in nature. Suppose if they want to, if you can go to the pizza shop, right? They have one big oven, right? If 50 numbers of orders are coming, orders are more, right? But the resources are one. So what exactly the people are doing? They are just scattering in one place, because the resource is limited. You can cook only limited number of pizza there. What is happening? Other workers are just waiting. They are not doing anything. So it is
Yeah.
decreasing the efficiency of your system. Okay. So your system efficiency is going to decrease if you are having more number of workers. Some workers are there, they are not doing anything. They are doing, they are just doing canny and just sitting there. So what you can do for that? You don't have any resources to help out them. They'll just eat canny and they'll just enjoy the day. So the conditions are more crowded. So they don't have a resources to make. They will easily say to owner, business owner, "Sir, I don't have anything. I don't have any resources. Where I will cook? I will not cook a pizza in your head. I need an instrument to cook a pizza, right? You give me the instrument, I can cook the pizza. I'll not cook in your head." So meanwhile, I'm doing a refreshment, eating a canny. Some of you are very happy that you have listened the name of canny. I think you are, uh, uh, some of you like canny a lot. Okay, great. So now coming to this is what exactly I plotted here. Now this is your output versus your number of production. So what exactly you are going? So this concepts, this is very important concept, right? So when the marginal cost or marginal production is reducing, right? This is reducing with a very important concept that is called the law of diminishing marginal production, or you can also say law of variable proportion, right? So this is a very important concept. Okay, so this is called the law of diminishing marginal production. I'll give you an example. Law of diminishing marginal utility also, it's there. Utility is what? When you are so this is a common example, everywhere you can find it out, right? When you are very hungry, right? So initially, so I'll tell you the story long back ago. In IIT Madras, we usually have a group. Okay, so what happened? Initially, there is a day called a Friday where the unlimited pizza offer was there, right? So what exactly we used to do? We are not taking a lunch, right? And going for unlimited pizza party, right? We are contributing and going for unlimited party. So what happens? We thought, before going, we always think that we can eat nearly 5 to 6 pieces.
Sir, your
Or we can
voice is
eat
breaking
direct.
out.
Now it is fine.
Yes, now it is fine, sir. The example you are
Okay,
giving
just
is
give me a
not
minute.
clear.
I'm getting a call. I'll just let them know I'm in a meeting. Yeah. So I hope it is clear now.
Yes, sir, it is working.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm getting a call in between actually, because I'm connected with my mobile. hot spot, so it might be creating a problem. So when we used to go to a pizza shop, and initially when we are going, we thought like we can eat 5 to 6 pizza. Okay, so what happened? I'm not a die hard pizza lover, so I usually go just to give them a company. And what happens after a certain period of time when pizzas are coming? So our utilities demand is pretty high. We are thinking to have more bites of pizza initially, right? But what happened after certain point, our eating capacity reduced, right? So we are not able to consume the slices. Initially, we used to take 5 slices, then it comes to 4 slices, 3 slices, 2 slices. Then it become negative also. Negative in the sense we are thinking we had a lot of pizzas for this month. For 2 months, we will not eat pizza now. So this is called diminishing marginal utility, where your satisfaction, right? Whatever you are getting a satisfaction, it is reducing with respect to consumptions, right? When you are too much hungry, you eat more, right? But when you started eating, your desire or your fulfillment from inside is means you are getting satisfied with the food, and your hungriness is going to reduce after a certain period of time. And after then, after a certain point, you won't be able to eat, right? So this is called a diminishing margin. You can say in terms of production, it's marginal production, or when you are considering the cost, you are saying diminishing marginal cost, right? Again, to
Voice breaking, sir,
Sir,
again,
switch
sir.
off the camera.
Yes,
sir,
sir.
your voice is started breaking again.
Now it is fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, probably fine, sir.
It is fine. Okay, okay, okay. So now I'll go with switching off the camera. Okay, so now I'll just continue the next topic, which is very important. That is the cost of product. We understood what exactly the cost of productions are, right? So now try to differentiate a different cost, right? So now the cost. The first is called a total cost. Total cost we can represent with TC. The other cost which is coming as a average cost. Okay. So what do you mean by the average cost? Okay. So if you buy nearly 20 kgs of mangoes, so per kg cost how much you are getting? Per unit cost, right? That is your average cost, right? So this is defined as, so average cost AVG, right? Or we can say average total cost, right? Average total cost is equal to total cost what you have paid divided by quantity. Okay. Now coming to the marginal cost. Marginal cost. So what do you mean by the marginal cost? You have already understood from the previous example. So for extra unit of, when you are consuming extra unit, right? One extra unit, how much you are paying extra for that? Suppose you are consuming 10 units. 10 units. The cost is 100 rupees. If you are consuming the next one extra unit, you added one more extra unit, the cost is 105 rupees. So the additional cost when you are paying for extra one unit is nearly 5 rupees. Okay, take an example of Netflix. Netflix. When you are taking a subscription for a Netflix, so for single user, you have to pay rupees. How much you have to pay? Rupees 199. If suppose you are adding one more user, so two users, now you are paying rupees 299. So what exactly your marginal cost here? Marginal cost, so for adding one extra unit of user, you need to pay nearly 100 rupees extra. So this is your marginal cost. So what exactly the marginal cost is representing in terms of mathematics? In terms of mathematics, it is representing delta TC by delta Q. So it is change in a cost. So single user and two user. So this is a change with respect to number of unit. Okay. So here it is 299 minus 199 divided by Change in unit is 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. So 100 is your marginal cost. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now coming to total cost. So total cost is a combination of total fixed cost plus total variable cost. So this is your total cost. Okay, so this is your total cost. Now coming to the important point. For a short run, what I told, we need to fix something, right? We need to fix some input, that is called a fixed cost. Okay, so you understood now what exactly is the meaning of total cost is a fixed cost plus variable cost. Okay, so fixed cost you already know what do you mean by the fixed cost, and variable cost also as of now you know, right? Now coming to the shorter run, I'm going to define. Okay, in shorter run fixed cost. So coming to a shorter run, not a long term thing, we are thinking about a short term thing. So short run, for a shorter run we can think, okay, as I previously told, it is not possible to expand the cloud kitchen, right? It's not possible to expand the kitchen in 2 to 3 days. We need a longer time to plan it, right? So it means the fixed costs do not change for a shorter run. Okay, so fixed cost is not a function of your quantity. Okay, fixed cost is not a function of quantity, or it will not change for short run of production. Okay, what are the examples? Any idea what are the examples you have in fixed cost? Any idea about examples?
Rent.
Rent, correct. Insurance, whatever you are giving. Okay, your salary of employees, right? Your equipment maintenance for the equipment, right? So these are all your fixed cost.
Sir,
Now
can we
coming
say
to the
all the
variable,
costs which we pay when the production is going or not going, inevitable? These costs are inevitable, right?
you need to pay.
Can we say
Correct,
that?
correct, correct. Okay, so if you are starting a coaching or a skill development center, okay, so if no students are coming there, then you need to pay the rent and charges for the building or electricity, basic electricity bills. That is a fixed cost, or you need to pay for the workers, right? If it is running, then might be the different case. Your fixed cost will be there, but it includes the variable cost as well. Okay, now coming to the variable cost. Okay, so variable cost is basically is the only input factors which input cost which is going to change with respect to production. Okay, so what are the examples? So if the production is increased, then the variable cost is increasing. If the production is production is equals to 0, then the variable cost is equal to
Zero,
0,
sir.
right? I'll take one example, one very interesting example for explaining this. Suppose in a room, if you have started the coaching recently, and in the coaching, suppose there are no students, so you don't have to turn on the ACs in the room because there is no students. Okay. Now suppose one student is coming in the room, or he is coming to study in a coaching. Then might be the case you can manage with the help of one fan. But if 30 students are there in the room, then you need to switch on the ACs. So what is happening here? One student, so 0 student, variable cost is equals to 0. If 5 students, variable cost increase. If 30 students, you need to switch on the AC and the variable cost is increased too much, right? So you are able to understand now variable cost. You are able to visualize what do you mean by the variable cost now. Great.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is your different cost associated with shortened production. Now coming to the example, I'll take an example and explain you what do you mean by the uh, variable cost. Okay. Now before that, I want to include one more cost, that is the average cost. Average cost. So what do you mean by the average cost? Now we studied the variable cost. Now coming to the meaning of average cost. Average cost, I explained you, the per unit cost of output. Per unit cost of output. Okay, is called your average cost. So suppose you want to go to airport, okay, and you book the cab. The total amount, whatever is there, is a fixed amount. You only need to pay. But if you book a sharing cab, okay, so in that case, your payouts or whatever the charges was there, it will be distributed in different people. So per unit, so for you itself, if you are going to calculate what should be the output or cost for that, that is something like comes under the average cost. Okay, so average cost is depending upon the quantity. What I mean to say, average cost now is depending upon the quantity. It is not something like which is not depending upon the quantity. If the quantity is increasing, the average cost is changing. Okay, so total fixed cost is equals to, we have understood. Now we are converting this total fixed cost to average fixed cost. Average fixed cost is equals to total fixed cost divided by quantity. Okay, so just try to understand this. Okay, because initially we told total fixed cost is fixed, right? But in the room, if suppose you rented a room, when we used to study, we used to rent a room and we have a roommates, right, in our room. So some people are living as a single user and some people are sharing the room with their friends, right? So if you are just having a room, single occupancy room, then you need to pay suppose a rent of nearly rent 10K, right? But if you are sharing that particular room with two people, then you have to share, then you have to pay a rent of 5K, and other has to pay a 5K as well. But if you are having 10 people in the room, so how much rent you need to pay? So that is how it is depending upon the quantity. So this is 1 numbers, this is 2 numbers, and this is 10 numbers. So if you are just changing the quantity, the prices are going to reduce. Okay, so now average variable cost is also is equals to total variable cost divided by quantity, right? And similarly, like total, you can say a total, or you can say average cost. Average cost is equals to summation of average fixed cost plus average variable cost. Okay, so this is your final equation for calculating the average cost. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now I'll give one more example
Yes,
to
sir. It is
explain
clear,
this.
sir.
Suppose there is a shop in Chennai which is they are making idli batters. Idli batters, right? So the rent of the shop is rupees 15,000 per month. This is very important. Average cost is very, very important. Just you need to understand, because when you are getting a data from a business, right, you need to identify what type of cost are there, right? Cost identification is very, very important. Okay, So rent is this one. If they produce, suppose 500 packets they are producing per month. Okay. So what's your average fixed cost is 15,000 is your rent and 500 packets they are producing. So rupees 30 per batter packet is your average fixed cost. But suppose you are producing 10,000 packets, 10,000 batter packets per month, right? So your average fixed cost is coming out to be 10,000 divided by, sorry, it is coming out to be 15,000 divided by 10,000. So how much it is coming? Rupees 1.5. Okay. So now you are seeing from how it is changing. It is totally depending upon the quantities. If you are changing the quantity, it is going to be reduced. It is never coming to be zero, because fixed that rent at anyhow you need to pay. So it is not coming to zero. It should come as less as possible, but it will not always, it will not come to zero, right?
We can tend it to zero, sir. Like if we increase the
It will tend
production
to zero.
or sales.
Yeah, it will tend to zero if you have a huge production, right? But it is not zero. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the second point, let me complete this course because I need to cover 2 more topics today, if it is possible. So it is 8:37. Let's see. Okay, so now you understand this particular point. Okay, so if you are going to plot it, if you are having a plot of cost versus output. So this is what exactly is rectangular hyperbola, because if you are going to calculate average fixed cost is equals to fixed cost divided by quantity, right? So it is now it's basically a you can say inverse relationship, right? So we are getting a rectangular hyperbola. This is AFC. Suppose there is a point. This is your point. If you want to calculate your cost, or based on this point, suppose somebody asks you to calculate the cost of this point. So how you are going to calculate? So the cost of this point, if you are going to join this, so this area, right? So this area, so if you are going to see, this is C, this is F, this is O, and this is Q1. So total fixed cost is equals to average fixed cost into quantity, right? From this equation, we already tried this one. Now, average fixed cost is what? Is OF. So this cost is your average fixed cost. And what is the quantity you have? This is O into Q1. So what it representing now? It is representing the area of this curve. So if you want to, if somebody has given you a plot and they have given you a point and asked you to calculate the total fixed cost, you don't have to worry. You will say, okay, wait for 2 minutes, I'll give you, or 1 minute, I'll give you the answer. The total fixed cost is equals to area of a rectangle, that is OFC into Q1. I hope this is fine. This is clear to you all.
So can you a bit explain like how it is different, sir, TFC and AFC? Like I'm a bit confused.
Which one?
So just like total fixed
AFC,
cost
right?
and
Average fixed cost.
yeah.
Total fixed cost we have seen here. If you see this one, total fixed cost is not a function. It's a fixed cost, right? If we have a 2 inputs, we are saying if we have a 2 inputs for shorter run, we are fixing 1 input. That is not going to change. Like a land, it is not going to change. Rent, it is not going to change.
Oh, I got it, sir. Okay, I got it, sir.
But you are taking different numbers if you are just doing this particular activity when the quantity is increasing. So it means it is
Yes, sir.
coming.
AFC can vary, sir. Right, sir. AFC can
AFC can
always
vary.
vary, but
Correct.
TFC, yeah.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Okay, so I'll take one example and I will let you understand. Okay. So this concept is law of marginal utility. I told you, law of variable proportion. I told you, this is done. This is done. Okay. So I'll take one example to calculate how the cost we are going to calculate. Okay. So this is suppose output. Output. Okay. Q in units. This is TFC. This is TVC. Right. This is TC. And this is AFC. This is AVC. Okay. And this is your, okay, this is fine, fixed cost, this one, and this is the marginal cost. Okay, so we are using marginal cost also here. Fine. So if you have a zero output, it means a fixed cost, suppose it is 20, so fixed cost will be same, it is not going to change. Variable cost will be 0. So your total cost, how much it is coming out to be? Total
20,
cost is
sir.
20, right? Average fixed cost will not come, because if we are going to use that formula, so this is not defined, it is going to infinity, but infinity is not possible, right? This is not counted, and this is also not counted. Now I am increasing to 1. Fixed cost will be same. Suppose I am getting a variable cost of 10. Total cost is coming out to be addition of this two, it's 30. What will be your fixed cost? AFC.
20, sir.
AFC is 20. What about AVC? AVC is 10. It's basically a ratio of TVC, right? TVC by quantity.
Yes.
Okay. And your marginal cost is coming out to be 10. Okay. Now, if we increase the output to 2 units, so it is coming out to be 20. How much this is? This is suppose 18. We are getting a total variable cost of 18. Now, TC is how much? It is 38. Right? What is AFC now?
10.
AFC, how much?
Sir, 10,
It's
sir.
10. Correct, it's 10. Right? What is your AVC?
9.
Correct,
Yes,
it's
sir.
9.
9, sir.
Right? And what is your marginal cost? Marginal cost is what? Is basically your delta TC by delta Q.
8.
It is 8. Correct. Similarly, we can plot it. I'll share you this sheet. Maybe I'll
Sir,
just
could
make a
you
sheet.
explain how you are calculating marginal cost once again?
Yeah, marginal cost, if you can see here. Okay, I'll just tell you how we are calculating the marginal cost. So marginal cost is every unit. If you are just having 10 units, right? Or I can tell you with the example of Netflix. Okay, so if you are a single user, you are going to pay 199 rupees. But you are adding one more subscription, right? You are from single user, you are going for a double user, right? So in that condition, the cost you need to pay is 299. So what is the change in cost? Delta TC divided by delta Q. So this is 299 minus 199 divided by change in your quantity. I hope it is
Okay,
clear.
sir. Yeah, yes.
So similarly, you can just plot it and because I don't have a time to make all the table, so I'll restrict it up to this particular point. Okay. Fine. Now I am
Yes, sir.
going
Fine, sir.
to discuss an important topic, very important topic. That is the opportunity cost.
Sir, sorry for interrupting, but you said total cost, like the change in the total cost divided by the quantity of which we are producing, right?
Yeah, change in the
Like marginal
output.
cost.
Yeah.
So,
So you can
like the
calculate
change in
marginal
total cost
cost.
is 8 by 2, right, sir? It should be 4, right?
Where?
like the total cost change between creating one quantity and two quantity is like
So this is
8.
one quantity. Okay. So
Okay,
with
sorry,
this
change
one
in the quantity
quantity,
also
this
we
is
should do.
fixed.
Okay, yes.
This is fixed, na? Only varying is
Yes,
this
sir,
one.
yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes,
What
sir,
is
yes.
varying? Your TVC is varying only, na? These
Yes.
are derived quantities. You can say average are derived quantities of these costs. So the expenditure is this one only. If somebody is giving you a table, they will give you their total fixed cost and total variable cost. These are the data you will get from the company. Now you need to drive and calculate different parameters like, so these are the drive quantities. AFC, ACs, these are drive quantities. Original cost. Right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. So now I am quickly going to explain you the important topic now. That is opportunity cost. Okay. So what do you mean by the opportunity cost? Any idea?
Sir, it was in graded assignment, so I looked from it. So I think it is about the best alternative we have, or like when we have two options and we choose one, then the thing which we are losing, that's what is opportunity cost.
Okay. Correct. Somebody else want to comment on this?
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, please.
So, if we are choosing one thing, we might not choose other things. So, opportunity cost is the cost that we are not choosing anything. For example, I'm going for a trip. This will cost me $200, and I can just stay home and watch Netflix. This might cost me $50. So, if I choose $200, I will lose a $50 experience, and vice versa.
Okay. Great. So I'll give the same example which I have given in the previous session. Some of you are working professionals in this session today, right? Okay. So those who are a working professional, they have some deadlines or some tasks as well, which are appointed from the company. Okay. So now what happened? You have two opportunities here. Okay. So what are the two opportunities you have? To attend my session of economics or to continue with the job assignments. Okay, so these are the two options you have. So whatever you are opting, suppose this option is A and this option is B. Okay, so if you are opting option A, it means the value which you are losing or which you are forgiving, right, to opt option A is called the opportunity cost. So it is also called like ghost path. So if you are going in a you can say a road and you have two paths, right? So the path, it's a ghost path which you are just leaving for opting another path. So might be the case in a ghost path, you will get a genie, and genie will fulfill your unlimited wants. That might be the case, but you are losing that because you have opted to go to your home. I hope it is clear. Okay, so coming to that, opportunity cost is the next best alternative you give up when making a choice. When you are making a choice, because why you are making a choice? Because you have limited resources. Okay, if you are working on a data science project, right? You are working on multiple projects in a company. Okay, but it is not possible to complete or to just do a project with the same efficiency, right? All the project with the same efficiency. It is not possible for you, right? So when you are focusing on one project, you are just leaving the other project on a side, and the value which you are giving up when you are just opting some other project on the top of some other, right? That is called the giving up value is called the opportunity cost. In economics, it is very, very important, right? Very, very important concept. Suppose a person is there and he is traveling, he has two paths. One path is to enroll for BS degree full time, and one path is there. For this, he need to, okay, I'll tell you later. So the other path is that enroll for BS degree part time. Okay. So suppose he is just opting for BS degree full time, and he is just giving up his job. So the salary, whatever he is getting from the job, he is losing that particular salary. Suppose his package was 15 lakh per year, right? So what he is losing this value for opting a full degree program. But here, what exactly it's happening? He's enrolling for this degree part time, okay, but he's getting a lesser salary. Suppose the company will say, okay, you can enroll for a BS degree in data science, but we will give you, your package will be 12 lakh per year instead of 15 lakh per year, or the same package as well. I'm just giving a case. Okay, so if he's getting a same salary, 15 lakh per year, and he's enrolled for a part-time this thing, right? So there might be the thing which he's missing in this particular domain. Might be the thing he's not able to manage both the things properly, and he is getting his performance will become very low after a certain period of time, and he will think like, okay, now at the final stage he will think, okay, I need to choose only one, either study because he was doing part-time, or a job. So if he is leaving the study and continuing with the job, so it means whatever the fees he has paid till date, right? Or it's basically, so I'm giving a concept of sunk cost, right? So whatever he has given up, whatever is not getting recovered is called a sunk cost. Okay, so he has two pathways. He need to choose one pathway. So this pathway will give some value, and this pathway has a different value. So if he's opting for pathway 1 and pathway 2, so pathway 1, if he is opting, he is losing value which he can obtain or which he can receive from pathway number 2, right? So this given up is called the opportunity cost. Now somebody asked me about the sunk cost. I have explained it here. I'll explain with one more example. So when he is enrolled for a part-time degree, so he is enrolled for a part-time plus job. So after a certain period of time, what happened? He think like he will not able to continue the BS degree program because his workload was too much, right? So he need to quitting this, right? So if he quit this, the fees he paid till date, it will not get returned back, right? So it is acting as a sunk cost, which is not recoverable. Here it is there. It can be possible because you have options. But if he's quitting, he don't have any option to recover it. Opportunity cost is a hidden cost which you are losing because you have two options. But in a sunk cost, you have already lost. If you buy a ticket of a flight, and if it is a non-refundable ticket, and immediately you want to cancel the ticket, so what you are going to do in that particular condition? You are losing whole money. So that money can't be recovered. Okay. I'll give you example of IPL. I have given I have questions related to IPL, right, in your quizzes, right? So I'll take example of IPL. In IPL, if some, you can say some of the team, or you can say Rajasthan Royal, if they will uh, buy some player, right, in auction, if he is not performing well, they'll not ask him to return the money. The money is gone. It will act as a sunk cost. They will take care in the next time when the auction happen. When the auction happen, they have the opportunities. They will take that same guy again, or they will not take the same guy again. If they are losing, or if they are in the next time, in next auction, if they are thinking, okay, we don't have to buy this particular boy, particular player in this in our team, right? So he is the team, or the particular, you can say a team is losing some value. Might be he will not perform well in a batting, but in terms of fielding, he was very good. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Just give a thumbs up. Yeah,
Yes,
great,
sir.
great, great, great. If you give more thumbs up, I'll get more motivated. Otherwise, I'll think, okay, you are not able to follow. Okay. So, what is a universal problem of? You can say a universal problem in reality. It's a scarcity. Okay. The universal problem is basically the scarcity. Okay. So now you have already understand we have limited resources, finite resources. So what is the constraint we have in the real life problem? The constraint we have is basically the limited resources. Okay, so this is a constraint we have. The other thing is that in universal problems, when you are going to address a universal problem, okay, so there are three steps. First is that we have limited resources. We need to manage the limited resources. The other is that we need to make a choices. Okay, so this you can able to correlate with your day-to-day life as well. When you are going to analyze your day-to-day life, right, you will think, you witness that you have a limited resources, you have a choices, which things you want to opt, which things you don't want to opt. It comes from the choices, and based on these two, you need to make a trade-off. You want to, suppose you have two options, you want to buy car, or you want to go for a vacation, right? So this is what you need to do, a trade-off based on your choices and limited resources. So we will see, as a data scientist, right, what are the constraints you have. Yeah, please go ahead. What are the constraints you have as a data scientist? Yeah, tell me.
Am I audible?
Structured data.
What is there? Constraint with respect to data science. Yeah, tell me. Structure, data, time. Okay. Anyone else want to comment? So as a data scientist, you have the constraint. The first is your time, is a constraint. Second constraint is that you have a resources, resources in terms of computational power, computational power, tools, right? Storage, and third is your data. So these are the constraints usually we witness on a broader scale, we witness in for a data scientist. Okay. Now, mathematically, we will try to understand what is the meaning of constant trade-off which we are doing or which we are witnessing in opportunity cost. Why we are doing a trade-off? So basically, if you can see, scarcity plus your priorities and satisfaction will give you a constant trade-off. Okay, so these are the things you are. This is what exactly the mathematical foundation of your trade-off equation. You can say a trade-off equation. If you want to do a trade-off, right? So trade-off is basically happening because of the scarcity, and it will. What you are going to do in a trade-off, you are going to see the priorities and whether these priorities are giving you a satisfaction or not. Okay. So this is the mathematical formulation. Now coming to the case. Now we are coming to important point or the case study. Okay. So the case, this case is related to is fraud detection, right? So you can say a bank load we right. So the fraud detection in bank. Okay, so how we are going to do the fraud detection in a bank? So what are our targets? Our target is in this project is to build an artificial intelligence model, to build an AI model, right, which can predict whether the customer who applied for loan, the customer is a defaulter or is a clean or is liable for loan. Case will give you a better understanding of opportunity cost. Okay. What are the constraints we have? So constraint we have, the first constraint is that we have a limited time to build this model. Suppose we have 1 month to build this model. In 1 month, we need to build this model. So this is a constraint from the bank side when they have given us a offer or basically they have given us this project. They have a constraint of 1 month. Okay. So now, what exactly the thinking or confusion or you can say a dilemma of the company is now? So the company dilemma is what? They have multiple ways. So there are multiple ways. Okay. And in multiple ways, what are the best suitable way they need to opt, right? So they have multiple options, right? So you have a multiple pathway to address this problem. But which one you need to use to address this? Which path you need to follow, which can satisfy this constraint and this target? Okay, then that you need to identify. Now, so there are two options. They have discussed, they have analyzed or researched a lot of things, and after then they come to the two pathways or two different paths. Okay, so their company road is divided into two different paths. So the first part, the option 1, option A, they have is to implement a complex deep learning model for this fraud detection. The option B, they have, they can use a simple logarithmic regression model. So these are the two options. They, after a lot of research, they found, okay, these are the two options. In these two options, we need to opt one. Okay. So now, what are the different aspects, or what are the different capabilities of these two models? Now try to understand, and what should be the cost associated with the model. Okay. So this is the second stage where they are going to analyze. Okay, so this is my option A, is deep learning model. Okay, and this is my option B, which is basically, you can say, a logistic regression model. Okay, so these are the two options they have. Now they need to analyze this. So in deep learning model, first we can assume in terms of accuracy. The accuracy in deep learning model is 95%. So this model is 95% accurate. If they are going to implement for a fraud detection, the model is very accurate. 95% accuracy is there. Whereas logistic regression models have a 80% accuracy. These are less accurate, not much accurate, less accurate. Right? Coming to the time required. So for training a deep learning model, you need a huge computational time along with a data set, right? So suppose it needs a 4 weeks, okay, 4 weeks, and this model needs 1 week. Okay, now coming to the third is the computational power. So for deep learning model, we need expensive GPU, storage, large storage capacity, and a high computational resource. Right? But in this, we don't have much of the things. We can use it as a minimal with, we can just do it with the minimal resources. Now going to interpretability. So if results are coming from deep learning model, okay, so what exactly the deep learning model is doing? Deep learning model will do a different type of analysis, or within the model, the things are happening when we are inputting a data, and it will give you a detection. Okay, this guy is detected as a fraud, right? So it is acting like a black box. What exactly happening inside the model, you are not able to understand. You are not able to understand why this person is highlighted or it's flagged for a defaulter. What are the main reasons, right? But here in this logistic regression, since it is not, you are making it in such a way, you have whole understanding of the model, how it is working on. So it is easy for you to interpret why the things are happening. What are the different parameters because of which the logistic regression model is highlighting. So this is highly interpretable. highly interpretable. So this is like a black box. You are using a tool of deep learning and putting your data, and what data is giving, you don't know whether it is correct or not, that also you don't know, but you are relying on the data. But here you have a more control or more insights of the model or how it is working on. Okay, so this is what exactly the options, different type of things associated with the options. Now what are the benefits now? Okay, so if you are opting for option one, option number one, that is a deep learning model, if you are going for a deep learning model, so what you are gaining here, you are gaining
Accuracy, sir.
accuracy. Your model is 19%, 95% accurate. Okay, but what you are, okay, so if you are opting option one, so you are gaining only the accuracy. But if you are just giving up model number two, so what you are losing now, that is your opportunity cost. Okay, so what you are losing is, so your opportunity cost here is, opportunity cost here is your
Time and resource.
interpretability.
Oh,
Interpretability, you are not you are not able to interpret your results, right? The second thing
yes, sir.
is your, yeah, please, yeah, somebody was saying
Yes,
something.
nothing, sir. Just time and
Yes,
something like this.
so here you are having a 3 week extra time that you are saving in case if the model is not accurate, you are getting a time to refine it more. Okay, and the third thing you are losing here when you are opting for option one is your budget, financial budget. Suppose the company has given you order, right, or the bank has given you order, and they are paying you 12 lakh rupees for this project. So if you are opting a deep learning model, right, so for a deep learning model, your expenditure itself, or your like I have explained you the production function, right? So with that, the input, whatever you are acquiring, the input cost of production is coming itself is 10 lakh rupees, then you are having 2 lakh profit, only 2 lakh. But if you are going with this option number two, so what exactly the benefits you are getting here? Okay, so if you are going with a logistic regression model, you are, what you are losing first, you are losing 10% of your accuracy. Okay, but what you are gaining here, so this is the loss when you are going for option one. What you are gaining here is basically high interpretability. You can interpret a results in a better way, your time saving and your money saving, in terms of, because you don't have to acquire a lot of computation resources. So suppose in this condition, if the same project you are able to complete in 5 lakh rupees, right, so the rest is what? Rest 7 lakh is your profit. Okay, so this is what exactly what if you are opting for one, option one, so this is your opportunity cost, 7 lakh you are losing, right? You are losing 7 lakh, but you are getting 2 lakh, so effectively 5 lakh is your opportunity cost which you are giving up, right? And time, these things is your opportunity cost. Okay, now the point comes when the company has to decide, because if you are, if the defaulter is highlighted, okay, so here now it's a balance you need to make. So how you are going to make a balance? Okay, so one side you have computational time, computational time, right? Money, right? Or interpretability. The other side you have, if your system is not too much accurate. So this is the interpretation of this case study, right? Okay. So now you need to think based on this, what exactly the option you need to choose. The other is acting as the other value you are losing is the opportunity cost. So if you are just giving a loan to a defaulter, somehow your system is not too much accurate. So you are losing lakhs of rupees, right? So this is basically the you can say conclusion of this story, right? Where you have to think about, you need to focus on these particular things, or you, if your model is not accurate, what exactly the consequences happening, right? Okay. So this is what exactly the consequences of 10% accuracy drop. If the system is not too much accurate, then if it not if it will not flag the person who is a defaulter, he will get a loan again from the bank, and because of that he is not again going to fill the loan, and bank is losing lakhs of rupees. So now this is what exactly you need to trade off, right? In a trade-off mathematical equation is what? Scarcity plus priorities. What exactly your priority is? Your priority is to make accurate system or a cheaper system, right? And the other is your satisfaction. I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Great, great. So up to that, up till now, you understand the concept of opportunity cost, right? You understand the concept of production functions, right? And I'll not able to cover the another point that is a very interesting topic. That is something like called the profit illusion, right? How the profit illusions are coming. So this next topic is profit illusion, where I'm going to discuss about economic profit and accounting profit, right? So this portion I will cover tomorrow, along with your PPF, right? Production possibility frontier, and then we can we'll see, like if we can get time, we can have a discussion on some case. Otherwise, we can wind up the this week session till now, right? And I hope it is clear to you all.
Yes, sir.
Are you till now? Anybody is having any doubt? Feel free to ask me. Don't go with the doubts, right? Just go with something in your hand, okay? Because doubts are very crucial. It will it will trouble you a lot. So I'm giving you the opportunity to just, if you have any doubts, just clarify it today itself. Anyone is having any doubt? All the concepts are clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Maitri is getting a dual benefit. She is attending session here as well, and she is attending session in BDM project as well. So she is getting a benefit a lot, right? So as a usual activity, I'm sharing the QR code. Maybe you can just give your inputs, right? So based on the inputs, I'm just refining a couple of things. Previously, I think somebody has given me an input for uploading a notes, right? So I have uploaded all the notes in this course. So maybe you can able to access that notes, right? I'll share you the post link. So, and one more thing I did actually is I have compiled all the video and make a separate playlist so that you all will get benefit from that, right? So this is the discourse link where I have given all the details related to whatever we have covered till now. Okay, so try to access this link. Okay, BDM project. In this only, in this course only, you can find this, right, Prashad? Prashad Shankar Munna. You can find in this discourse everything. You are able to find it here itself. You don't have to go anywhere. I hope today's session was interesting. Just if you all are
Yes, sir.
agree
It
with
is
me,
very good.
if you all are agree and motivated, right, just give a thumbs up. So I hope you are learning economics and you are finding interest in the economics now.
Yes, surely we are having.
So anybody can unmute, unmute yourself and just share me the feedbacks, what you are, how you are able to understand, and what exactly the motivation. What's your thought before when you listen the name of economics in BDM theory course, and now what you are thinking about it. Share your feedback. It will motivate me as well. Anyone?
So, I think so. When I heard about this freedom subject, it was more of very type of boring, or I thought so it would be like a database or something which is will be like highly technical or highly statistical or mathematical thing. But now, when I'm proceeding with this course, right now I think it is like more of relatable thing with real life things, and it is kind of easy to also apply and imply it on our real life situations, and we can really like do lot more than just academic thing from this course. So that's what I am
Yeah,
thinking about as I am proceeding towards it.
great, great, great.
And
So
the session is truly great, sir. You are really like engaging, and uh, it is going great, sir. I think so.
yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. The topic I think I am going to I covered till now. It's understood. Like you are able to follow the topics because I'm giving an example. The thing is that if you have seen the assignments as well, so you have seen the question pattern. I used the real examples there, right? IPL, right? IPL, UPSC examinations. So these are the examples I have taken for assignment. So at least you can understand how the concepts are implemented to different domains which you are seeing. If I will give you some complex examples or some complex question, you are not able to relate it. So there is no means of question, right? Because the question, if you are not able to understand properly, you won't be able to solve it, right? So if you are able to understand the question, it will give you answer for multiple thousands of questions in future.
That's right, sir.
Yeah. Anyone else? Thanks, Fahid. Anyone else want to comment or add something on this? Yeah. So I think Maitri was a little bit worried actually. She took the BDM project and BDM theory parallelly. So at the first orientation session she attended, and she was saying, "Sir, I am totally a little bit worried because I have taken both the things. Right now, luckily she is attending session here and there as well, and I hope it is useful for her now." Maitri, you are not audible. Yeah. So how many are from BDM project here? Just raise your hand. Okay. Nice. Great. Great. So anything else you want to, because there, there is a very important topic in economics that is called a game theory, right? I'm not going to cover a game theory here in this because I'm short of time as of now, so I need to complete a demand supply in next week, and then I have to complete in a second week. I'm going to complete your PPF because your assignments are pending. So if you are going to see the previous last week session, in the last session I have covered some questions, right? So that questions are related to your assignment number 1, right? Graded assignment number 1. If you have seen, I've just given you some numerical problems, right? So that help you to solve that thing. So similarly, I'm giving a concept here. which helps you to solve the problem which are in the assignments. Okay. So as I suggested, don't use Chat GPT or AI to attempt the question. Just try to understand the concept and then try to attempt the question. You are able to do the question. That is a conceptual question. If you have understanding of a concept, you are able to do it. So there is no need of any AI tool or any helping hand is required. Okay.
So there are no practice assignments or activity questions in BDM right now.
We
Like
don't
there
have a
are only
practical.
graded assignments.
We don't have any practice assignment as of now, but we will plan from next term because this term actually this is something new for us as well, medium theory, right? So we don't know what should be the content, how the pattern was there, right? So because of that we don't have assignments as of now, but from the next term we can have a separate session from the TA where we will explain them like how to solve the assignment and we'll give them question to have some practice assignments as well, so that we will do it as soon as the course will run. We'll also know from your feedbacks what the things you are looking for, and based on that we are going to refine the course in future. So that is something like we will do in future. But don't worry
Okay.
about it. If you are just following the lectures and just doing the assignments, whatever we have given graded assignment, that is more than sufficient.
Sure.
Yeah. Any more comments or suggestions from anyone, or want to express something related to the topic or subject? Yeah. Anuradha, Hemlata, Abhishek. Abhishek is giving a lot of thumbs ups. Okay,
Excuse
fine.
me, sir.
Yeah, please. Lakshya.
Sir, whenever we were doing case studies, I
Okay.
always sometimes get confused that how deep should we go into it? Like how many things we should consider when we are trying to optimize for it. Like when we are trying to find select between deep learning and our regression solution, how deep we should go in either of them. Like we can also get like you said that even a 10% loss in optimization can sometimes means like loss of millions for the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So how much deep we should consider things?
See, I'll give you the studies, which is something like a theoretical concept. I'm just telling you, but in a real life, when you are going, you are getting the projects from the companies, right? I'm assuming the things, right? What should be the assumptions there, right? Like I'm saying, like if 80% 85% accuracy is fine, or I have a limited budget, I can go for 85% accuracy, right? Because I don't have a resources. I I need some profit if I'm running a company, right? Similarly, when the companies are giving order, they will give you the technical specifications. They will suggest you, okay, this is this much accuracy I want, and this is the budget I'm giving to you for fulfilling this accuracy or completing the project. So if you are not getting a profit, if you are going for a deep learning and you have a constraint of a time as well, right? So when you are going to do any of the analysis, you need to focus on your constraint. If you are going in depth, right? If you are going deep into the problem, then might be the case you are not able to solve the problem in that particular time. Okay, so when you are in the company,
Yes, sir.
case study is fine. Case study is something like a theoretical thing. Suppose you are making assignments, right? If you are just giving a lot of justifications for a single MCQ questions, then if the assignment time is nearly 20 minutes, you need to solve 20 questions in 20 minutes. But in MCQ question, if you write a long paragraph, then might be the case you are not able to attend all the questions. So big paragraph is not required because it is MCQ question. You need to write in a short and move ahead because you have a shortage of time. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I hope this
And one last
clarify
thing.
your doubts.
Yes, sir. It is clear. One last thing. We can't
Yeah.
submit we can't submit a survey again. Like if we have submitted it once, we can't do it again.
Okay. I think I need to launch a new survey then. Yeah. So might be the case you are not able to do it. Let me try if I can just make a duplicate of this thing. Yeah, I think it is fine now. Maybe you are able to fill the survey. I'm sharing the screen. See, these surveys are very important for us. Why it is important? Because this is the course, or you can say this is a degree where we don't have a one-to-one interaction with the students, right? So whatever you want to communicate here, either you can communicate with the help of live sessions or with the help of surveys or feedbacks. So these feedbacks and surveys are very crucial for us to understand the students' perspective. What exactly you are looking from us, whether you are following a lecture or much, some students were not able to follow. So I reduce the speed, right? I just took I usually took a break in between to see like if there is any doubts or any questions from your side, right? And then I'm continuing the process. I'm not rushing. If I'm not able to cover the one topic clearly, so there is no means of rushing the things to do the formality, right? I'm here to teach you all, not to do a formality. I can take a session for 2 hours. So the time for completing a session is 2 hours. Why am I extending? I'm extending because I can deliver something good to you all, right? I can close the session in 45 minutes as well, but I'm not compromising. I'm doing it so that you are able to learn something. When in future, when you are going somewhere, right, you'll remember like you have studied economics. The concepts are there with you. When you are going for an interview, you are able to give the answer which is not common, right? They are not receiving from every student. That is a uniqueness you are getting it there. Got it?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so can we wind up now? I'll just
So actually, there are other live sessions going on, so that's why I think so most of the students have left.
okay. No problem. Okay, then we can take a leave and we'll see you tomorrow, right? And we will see how the things will go on. So tomorrow I'm going to cover important topics. This topic is very interesting, like how the profits are illusion, right? You need to think about it, how the profits are illusions. Why we are saying economists says profits are illusion, right? And accountant says like these are the actual profit. Okay, so you are able to understand it from there. Fine. So I'll close the session now, and we'll see you all tomorrow, and we'll discuss about it. Okay. Chalo. Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.